Okay, Peter, the World Steel Association projects the 2019 global steel demand will reach 1.73 million tons, a 1.3% year-on-year increase. In 2020, demand is projected to grow by 1% to reach 1.75 million tons. When compared to last year's growth rate of 2.1%, the demand growth across the globe is steadily diminishing and is not sparing the South African steel industry. How is the industry bracing itself for these kind of challenges? Let's ask Gerhard Papenfus, who is National Employers Association of South Africa's Chief Executive. Sir, welcome to our program.
Hello, Kwan.
Well, how is the industry really prepared to deal with the current economic constraints that seem to be having the red flags?
We're not prepared because, we're fighting a battle for survival currently in South Africa. We're not actually preparing for the future. I think there's constraints being placed on the steel industry, broadly speaking, in South Africa. So there's the things that need to change. Fundamental issues currently is putting a damper on the steel industry, and that needs to be addressed.
Okay, well, what issues are those?
Well, first of all, the role of ArcelorMittal, the South Africa's only steel producer, which is a monopoly. They're the only people that produce raw material. Is through their request to government, they've introduced a 10% customs duty and 20%, further 10% safeguard duties on steel imports. Now, the moment it is expected of companies to pay import duties, they pay more for their steel. Now, AMSA can no longer compete in the international market. It's no longer possible. The price of steel worldwide is going down. And I think this is the future trend that we will have to live with. The price of steel is going down, but South Africans are paying more and making the steel industry completely uncompetitive. We're dealing with a steel producer that's got a 70-year-old mill, and they cannot produce steel at competitive prices. So that is killing the steel industry, and major role players has left the industry, went bankrupt. In recent months, the industry is in severe difficulty.
There has been a proposal for a turnaround strategy in the business transformation program to reduce costs. Has this been working?
Well, are you talking about? I don't know whether they're talking about, at the core where the steel manufacturer, where AMSA is working. AMSA cannot really reduce costs. Unless they retrench to some extent, but that won't help. AMSA is faced with certain issues. The one is their mill produce very expensive steel. Lower quality steel, their output is unreliable. There's the transport issue in South Africa, there's a productivity issue, and there's the issue of electricity. Because of the old mill, the electricity is more expensive. There's allegation that electricity is as much as 60% more expensive. So what the downstream wants and what we need to do to prepare for the future is that we want the right to import the best quality, cheapest steel in the world. Because the moment we can do that, the steel industry will become competitive again. There is the allegation that South Africa simply must have a primary steel producer. We don't have to have a primary steel producer. It's like me saying that South Africa need to manufacture cell phones. We don't have to manufacture cell phones. In fact, if we start manufacturing cell phones, that will be foolish. You must import cell phones. Certain things we need to import, it's better for us. And I think for us, we need to understand and accept.
But other people will disagree with you and say that when you are importing steel, you are also importing unemployment.
No, it's not so. We are importing because of the fact that we are uncompetitive. Now, with the high price we pay of steel, we can't beneficiate and then export what we do because of the material that we buy is too expensive. It is costing jobs at the moment. The moment we import cheaper steel, better quality, cheaper steel, it will lead to the growth of the industry, and we will start, manufacturing will expand, more jobs will be created. So it is not importing. We're talking about AMSA employing 8,000 people. We're talking about the steel industry employing 300,000 people. So the impact on expensive steel on the 300 is very high. So that's where the job losses actually lie.
And again, you must remember some economic fundamentals would contradict your proposal in terms of, number one, the import-export ratio of South Africa. As you know, it's very wide. We are importing more and exporting less. How does that speak to economic growth and manufacturing with a sense of exporting more than importing?
If you import affordable steel, high quality affordable steel, it will increase tremendously the manufacturing capabilities of South Africa, and then we can export. So this is putting a damper on South African steel exports, is the price we pay for our steel. And the main reason for that is the protection of a single company. Now there's, you know, I can imagine that government is a bit uncertain about it, because it's a quite a dramatic decision to decide not to protect AMSA any longer. That I understand. And they're also concerned about the logistics if we import. But that is where the focus needs to lie. Import.
Just very briefly,
yeah.
Are you optimistic about what the President has announced concerning the Infrastructure Development Fund? Can this also give a shot in the arm?
Well, absolutely. You know, if that's where we need to focus. Cheaper steel and infrastructure in terms of logistics, get the stuff. We need to import stuff, and just as far as steel is concerned, and put it on trains and get it to the central areas of South Africa. That's where the focus lies. Infrastructure development, that needs to focus be. And that will not only benefit steel, it will benefit a lot of products.
Okay, so our parting shot, you want import tariffs to be scrapped?
Absolutely.
Why?
Well, the moment import tariff duties are scrapped, we can buy the best steel in the world at the best price. South Africa can no longer produce steel. That time is over. I think, and the irony, even the protection will not save AMSA much longer. AMSA's bottom line manufacturing price is $630 per ton. The world steel price is now below 500. Even if you add the 20% duties, it is still it's still beneficial to import. But you know, you've lost your profit margin with the 20%. It's making us the whole thing is unviable.
All right. Thank you very much for making time to speak to us.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Right. Well, the National Employers Association of South Africa Chief Executive, Mr. Gerhard Papenfus, and of course we're going to take a break now.